Hey everyone. So welcome to week 8. It's once again another crazy week. As you all probably have realized from my last video, I did this week's reading last week, and that was really awkward. But what I didn't do is I didn't do the Cultural Center reading. I did the Students Helping Students reading. So this week I'm going to really focus in on the Cultural Center's reading instead, so that I can kind of balance things out that I've talked about. So during the reading, the reading was focused on the tri-sector model being enacted at cultural resource centers in ways that it's beneficial. And I really liked its approach. I think it encompasses a lot, and it's kind of a good first step when you're thinking about when I was thinking about what I'm going to be doing. This was kind of my first steps to think about. So the first thing that it talks about in the book is the community building and outreach. And I think at the Pride Center, this is where we struggle with most. It's difficult at the Pride Center for us to outreach to other communities and bring them in. And I think that has to do with a lot of resistance within here in the community. It's difficult to program to people who... Actually, I'm going to completely scratch that idea. That was a bad idea. But sometimes it's difficult to outreach to the LGBT community because it's a self-disclosing community, and so we can't just go, "Hey, I know that you're queer." It's kind of difficult. But I think that poses a lot of exciting possibilities for us because we don't know where our populations are. It's easy to just say that we can cast a really large net, and the larger the better, to be able to encompass more people. The next portion of the reading talked about the administrative practices, and I think this section is where the Pride Center excels at most. One of the things that stuck out to me was that cultural resource centers kind of have this job to create a warm, non-institutional feeling, and I think that that's something that the Pride Center does. Just take it just for a second. This is adorable. You can sit here and you can definitely just have a chat with somebody, and it's really great, and it's really fun, and it doesn't feel like an institution. It doesn't feel cold or clinical or bad. The walls are warm. It's really homey here. And I love that about the center, and I think it's this center's shining moment. It's saving grace, And then the next part is cultural programming, and I think this section is a continual struggle with the Pride Center. Not because we have problems with it, but because there's constantly new things that we can talk about. And I think that goes for any cultural resource center. But the Pride Center, there's so much to our community that programming to it all is difficult. And it's hard. I was just having a conversation the other day about programming to specific communities within the LGBTQ community, say polyamory. If we want to program about polyamory, and we want somebody to come in and speak about it, it's hard to do that without tokenizing them, without saying that this person represents an entire community, or that this is the only person. And so I think at the Pride Center we struggle with creating programs that are innovative and engaging and fun, and still retain that educational or purposeful meaning behind the programming. And so that's something that I think the Pride Center, and I think any cultural resource center, will continue to struggle with and continue to grow with. Something that I totally forgot to mention in community building and outreach was it talks about marketing campaigns and how you're supposed to spend budget around 10 to 15% of your total budget to marketing. And I think that's a great way to go about it, but I've also heard of this easy rule for me to remember called the rule of halves, and that is if you want any number of people to show up, you have to market to double that number, and then you have to solicit to double that number. So if you want 10 people to show up to your event, you have to make contact with at least 20 people, and then to get those 20 people to make contact with, you have to like phone bank or class rep to at least 40 people. And I would like 10 people to an event is kind of a small event, but I mean, like, so if you want to get something bigger, you know, you have to follow that rule. And I think it just speaks to the challenges of marketing. You know, it's very challenging to be able to say, I want 30 people to come to this event. How do I do that? And one step that the Pride Center often, like, one thing that I often see that I would like to move past is making a poster, distributing that poster, and being done with it. Or making a poster and doing a Facebook post and being done with it. I think that a really big area of improvement that we could do at the Pride Center is with our tabling. I think that our tabling could be something that's much more spectacular and much more engaging and much more fun. And I think we can do a lot more of it. You know, I think having engaging and unique tabling and different marketing campaigns and strategies is definitely going to be something that elevates the Pride Center from where we are now to the next level. And that's something that I really want to see happen for next year, because I really would like to carry the Pride Center to a higher level than it is now, which is saying a lot because I really respect the Pride Center and I love everything that it's doing now. But I think that that's an area that we can greatly improve on, and I'm really excited to be able to do it. So that's what I'm going to cover for this week, considering that I'm at 6 minutes and 47 seconds now. But I hope that all of you are having a great week. I would love to talk to people about marketing strategies that you've employed or things that you want to employ. I love talking to people, so if you ever want to talk to me about that, feel free to connect with me, and I will see you all on Friday. Bye!